Hey guys, and welcome back to another edition of the Gamma Ray Podcast. I got Tim and Justin.
How's it going, big everybody?
What's up?
All right, guys, and I'm Tim. And this week, man, we're actually getting into something that we really haven't done but once. We're getting into the world of true crime kind of stuff. So definitely a break from our norm with this one.
Yeah, man. Like these,
Kinda.
especially these ones.
It's not too far off.
No, but like the true crime ones, man, they're a bit of a trip to really look into.
Yeah, I can imagine, dude, because it's like all shit that really happened.
Yeah, this ain't no conspiracy.
Yeah,
This ain't
it's not
There's
like
no monster,
conjuncture.
like mythical monsters or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like murders are a little easier to handle when it's like, some creature with a fucking, snake face and like eagle wings doing it. It's just easier to swallow for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, you don't want to think that humans would be this horrendous to each other.
Yeah, and this one is pretty nuts, man. So this week, y'all, we're talking about the Villisca Axe Murders, and this is a pretty fucking brutal story. I'm gonna be honest.
This is straight horror movie brutal.
Yeah, and it like really, especially if you're like us, we're all parents, you know what I mean? So it's doubly so, I think, kind of hard to swallow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is heartbreaking.
All right, so like
see everything.
Yeah, I mean, like the story, man, was like when this happened, this is not really the world. I mean, Jack the Ripper wasn't like too far from this, you know what I mean? But that was in a different country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like no big deal because it's happening over a fucking ocean, you know what I mean? So you don't really think about it a whole lot. But the Titanic had just sunk, you know what I mean, a couple months before that, before all this happened. And this story was so gruesome and just shocking, you know what I mean?
Like sensational.
That it actually was the only thing since the sinking of the Titanic to have taken it off the front page of newspapers. Like that's how bad it was.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty impressive feat on its own. Like,
yeah,
that something that big being taken off the front page news.
Yeah,
you got to think too, man. Like, this is fucking 1912, bro. Like shit like that just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like today, by today's standards, you're like, oh yeah, somebody killed somebody with an axe.
Yeah.
But back in 1912, man, where people literally did not lock their doors.
Yeah.
Like that was like for real.
Especially because this was like a small town too. This wasn't New York City or LA or anything like that.
Yeah, it's literally the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Towns.
Yeah, it's where like Children of the Corn took place. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I mean that's how fucking remote this place is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nothing out there, dude. Besides the one that walks behind the rose. You know what I mean? Like he's the only guy hanging out.
He wants you too, Malachi.
Yeah, it's the only fucking guy hanging out there. So, like, I mean, the town that the murders took in is like the namesake of the episode, right? It took in Villisca, Iowa. So Iowa, right? Yep. The most dangerous thing to come out of Iowa was Slipknot.
You know what I mean? I just thought the same thing, man.
That's the only fucking thing.
I never knew where I never knew they were from there.
They have an album called Iowa.
Yeah, that's their album.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do. And so we were kind of mentioning the events took place on the night of June 9th, 1912, and into the morning of June 10th. You know what I mean? 1912. It wasn't like a week-long thing. You know what I mean? So it only took him a night.
Yeah.
So he took his time.
He did take his time. And
I mean, considering.
Yeah. And so it was 6 members of the Moore family. That's who lived in the home. And 2 neighbor girls that they invited over for a sleepover. You know what I mean? Your normal kind of thing to do. You know what I mean? Like they had some girls around the same age and they had a sleepover. You know what I mean? Like even back then it was kind of a thing. And I mean, but they were victims of brutality, dude. It's hard to describe. Like, it's not hard to describe in words, but it's like hard to describe just because of like how fucking insane it was. You know what I mean? Like, that's what makes it hard to describe. I mean, it's not like I don't have the vocabulary to do it.
I'm not entirely sure if
you know, I could. I'm that good. But
it's just the pure viciousness.
Dude, it's fucking insane.
That's what I'm saying. Just the pure viciousness that he dispatched these people with.
Yeah. And I mean, it's I can't imagine being in that mindset. You know what I mean? Where like even if you did it once, you're like, no, I'm gonna go do the whole family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's gotta be like, I mean, you gotta be like legit fucking nuts.
Or that's just pure fucking hatred.
That and pretty damn skilled with an axe.
Yeah.
Kind of
Considering
like, you know,
he took
Abraham
out
Lincoln's
this many
vampire
people.
killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who's
Like-
not a suspect? You know, everybody was a suspect thing except for the one guy I think should have been a suspect, Paul Bunyan. Where the fuck was he when all this was happening?
yeah. Where the fuck was he?
I feel like this is where Paul Bunyan would live.
Yeah.
And it's,
Trees everywhere and shit. I mean, that seems like the logical place
Yeah,
for
he's
a
kill all these
lumberjack with a big
people.
blue fucking. Was it an
With a
ox?
big
Yeah, an
blue
ox.
ox,
Yeah,
yeah.
a babe. It seemed like
He
the
was able
logical
to
place for
kill
him to be.
everybody in his house with none of them waking up, with none of the neighbors hearing any screams.
You know what's funny, man? Like this kind of reminds me of like the shit with the Amityville.
you know,
Right.
dude, that's the first thing that popped in
Yeah.
my
You
mind.
know what I
also.
mean? Where like everybody was on their stomach and it was a fucking like nobody heard anything, even the other people in the house.
Well, I mean, at
But
least
they were
with an
shot
axe,
with an incredibly loud
You know,
gun,
but
too.
Yeah,
Amityville-
it's super loud, like
I mean, it was a
eardrum
rifle.
blowing.
Yeah,
loud.
it was a rifle. Like, and nobody
Yeah.
heard
Well,
that.
that rifle's known to be like
Very loud.
piggery loud. too.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah, it was known for that. So this is kind of parallels that a little bit. I mean, in a way, it wasn't a family member allegedly that did it, but still, you know, I mean, the idea behind this is pretty much the same. So like every victim had severe head wounds from being struck in the head repeatedly with an axe, and it was from an unknown assailant, so nobody knows who it was, that hid in the Moore family home in the attic actually while they attended church, and then he waited for the members to get home and then go to sleep for the night. You know what I mean?
Which
Then
shows premeditation too. It wasn't like he broke into the house
yeah,
and
Yeah, he
you know,
didn't break in to
he
rob
picked
her.
up the first item he could see, and
it was his axe
way
too.
everything-
It was the
Yeah.
father of the house of the
it
Moore's
was a weapon
axe.
of convenience
Yeah, it was
that,
just there.
that he killed him
Yeah,
with.
for sure.
Yeah, it was just
'Cause
there.
back then, every house had an axe, man. You know what I mean? Like it was all
Yeah.
they heated by wood. You know,
Lizzie
what I mean?
Borden had an axe.
Yeah. And look what she did with it.
Yeah, again around the same time. It just seemed like
Yeah.
axes were the way to go. There was something about it. Maybe it's just it's like the sheer fucking devastation of when hitting somebody with an axe. It seems like the go-to.
Well, you know, it's kind of like with the whole Amityville point, man. Like, okay, I understand it's an axe, but like, you know, I'm sure some of these people were probably sleeping in the same room together.
Well, you know,
Did
the
they not
parents
hear?
were.
Did they not hear somebody else? You know, getting
Actually, a lot of them. I think the parents were,
Mhm.
and the two neighborhood
Brothers?
girls
Oh,
were
yeah,
in the room, and I think
yeah. They
maybe
were in
the
a
two
guest
brothers
room.
were too.
They were in a guest room. It's a tiny ass house.
Yeah, it ain't that big.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it was like a regular house. I mean,
Yeah, so
it's
he was
like
doing
500
this
square feet. You know what I mean?
Several
With two
times
floors.
with multiple people in the room.
Yeah, I mean, so it's insane that nobody heard anything, even like the grunts and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, that's what
nobody,
I'm saying. You
nobody
would
heard it.
think.
So the members of the family included, so the parents, obviously, right? Josiah, who was 43, and Sarah, his wife, who was 39. They had 4 kids. The oldest was Herman, who was 11. They had Mary Catherine, who was 10. Arthur, who was 7, and Paul, man, God, who was only 5.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He was the
That's
youngest.
terrible.
Yeah, he was the youngest. And like the weird thing is too, like a lot of people reported, is that it was strange that this family had seemed to have been targeted. You know what I mean? Because it seemed like that kind of murder seems like they were picked out.
Well, it kind
I
of
mean-
seems like it was.
It's
Yeah.
like personal.
It really gives that. It was meant to be like a hit essentially.
You know, man, but
Yeah.
it's like, dude, if you got a beef with the dad, you're gonna
Yeah.
fucking take out the children. Like that's just
Unnecessary.
such a dick move.
Yeah, man.
Well, see, you don't want
A dick move.
Well, I
Indigo
mean,
Montoya coming over.
Oh my god.
My name is Indigo Montoya. You killed
Yeah.
my father. Prepare to die.
Yeah, did you hear about that family annihilator? That guy's a fucking dick.
It kind of is, man. It's like, dude, yeah, if you got beef with the dad, to take it up with the dad, man. Worst case scenario, smoke the mom too. But I mean,
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, it's
Where
fun
were
to
you
kill
in 1912?
everybody.
Were you in Iowa in 1912? You old motherfucker. So
He's speaking of his regrets from what he did.
he's got survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
So like like I said, so that like it felt like they were targeted, and it was strange because the family, while not like super well to do or anything, but they were well liked. You know what I mean? And like well known, well respected in that Villisca community. You know what I mean? So they didn't have like enemies. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
enemies, like they didn't really do anything that would cause somebody to hate them this much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was on June 9th too, is when Marymore invited Lena Stillinger, who was 12, and Ina May Stillinger, who was 8, to spend the night at the house. You know what I mean? Like again, they just had regular sleepovers like normal girls around the same age do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
so those were the other 2 of the 8. You know what I mean? So the 6 was the family, the 2 were the neighbor girls. And you know,
do you
it's
think it
just
was,
horrible,
you know,
man. And they were found in a guest room, you know, and it looked to them like Lena had put up a fight because she had like defensive wounds
Okay.
Yeah.
and shit like that. So I guess not
Especially-
everybody slept through it, but yeah, she tried to
Yeah.
like fight it off.
Yeah, especially too. Originally, they were thinking it was like a sexual motivation
Well,
because her
because it
night
looked like,
dress
yeah, it
was
looked
pulled
like
up
it.
over her waist.
Yeah, it looked that way. Like to the cops, you know what I mean? It looked like that was part of it. I don't think they were ever able to prove that's what happened, but she definitely
Yeah, that's what they were
tried to
thinking.
scrap with the dude, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's
like
probably
she
what
was. She
happened.
would have been the only one to have woken up.
I mean, that dude was there for one purpose, man. Murder.
Oh
Pure
yeah,
and
Oh
simple.
yeah. Oh
he was
yeah.
there to kill everybody.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
wasn't- I mean, dude, you got to be one pissed off dude to take out, you know, an entire bloodline.
Dude, I don't know,
I mean,
man.
who
Like,
hasn't taken out a bloodline against your enemies?
I mean, not recently. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's
so it's
been
kinda
probably
hitting me
10
hard
years
right
for
now.
me. But you know, I've taken out a few families in my time.
I'm on that cool down phase. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Taking
Just
a
waiting
rest.
for that rage to build back
Sabbatical.
up.
I don't know. The show's been helping me.
Hey,
Keeps me busy.
it's cathartic, man. It's therapeutic.
Jesus
That's what
Christ.
keeps.
I think we should probably move on before we break some sort of law. I
Yeah.
feel like we're on the brink of breaking some sort of law.
Well, fair enough, man. So on June 10th, 1912, the Moores' neighbor, a lady by the name of Mary Peckham,
Okay.
had noticed that they had not come out to do their daily chores and started becoming concerned. Now this is a fucking time period.
She's
like, wait a
minute. That's definitely a time period specific issue.
Yeah.
Like,
was
for
like,
sure.
Like these motherfuckers ain't
You know
chopping
something's
wood, they
up.
ain't milking cows.
Yeah, like, you know something up because they're not doing their chores.
Yeah. This
Dude,
lady
if I didn't
literally.
run out of food,
But-
I'd never leave my house.
Yeah. I mean,
like if I didn't have to go to work, you wouldn't ever see me again.
right. Yeah. Jesus Christ. And like the thing too, like the lady was like really worried about it because she went and let out their chickens
Yep.
because, you know, you're supposed to take chickens for a walk or something, I guess. I don't know much about chickens.
No, they're just all in their coop.
Is there like a leash law for
Yeah,
for chickons?
probably back then, dude, it was just like cows were walking the streets.
It's just like walking the streets, like in gangs. Like, what are you talking about?
The chickens were roaming,
Is that how the whole Chick-fil-A beef got started?
Oh my
Hell
god,
yeah,
dude.
dude. You never saw that documentary? The Great Beef and Chicken, Cow and Chicken Wars?
Well, I do know in 1912,
Oh.
cows ran most of the major cities.
Yeah. And they were constantly, putting down the chicken.
Villisca chicken cow war.
Yeah.
That's where it all started, man. Over a misunderstanding too, But she went up to the Moore's front door and knocked. And when she didn't get any answer, she tried to open the door.
Which I feel like is a little forward of a neighbor.
Yeah, but then even back then,
Hey, yeah, what if you're taking a dump? And you
Yeah.
lock the door
yeah,
because
but
you don't want
have
nobody else to come in.
You have 6 people in the house.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Back then, you probably would have told your neighbor, "Hey, I'm taking the family on a vacation."
Yeah,
that
that's
kind of
true.
thing.
Yeah, okay. I don't even think they had phones yet, did they? Like legitimately, did they have phones in
Probably
1911?
not. I wouldn't think.
I wouldn't think
Widespread.
Right.
Iowa. But again, another strange part was the door was locked.
I don't think they have any technology in Iowa in 1912.
I don't think they still have any technology. in that.
Yeah, like it's a recurring issue.
But when she discovered that the door was locked, she started to get really concerned and worried about him. So she contacted Josiah's brother, a man by Ross Moore, to come over and appraise the situation, see if he can't check in on him. And Ross was able to open the door because he had a copy of the house key that his brother had given him.
Hmm.
So pretty much he opened that door and he ran across the 2 bodies of the Stillinger sisters almost immediately.
Yeah, it's kind of his own
leaving.
fault. That key he gave him did say "do not copy" on it. So, so he broke the law right away.
Yeah.
So it's Roman locksmiths
Yeah.
taking people out for copying keys.
Yeah.
It was their
solved
turf.
it all these years later.
What do you even need? What do you even need keys for your door for? Nobody locked them fucking things anyways, apparently.
Yeah, I would think in a
'Cause
small
every
town
story
like
you
this,
hear about these time periods, like you don't even have to lock your doors.
yeah,
It's like, well, what the fuck you got keys for then?
in a small town like this where everybody fucking knows everybody.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you
mean,
have like that town hoodlum everyone knows to keep an eye out for, that kind of,
he's got like a pack of cigarettes rolled up in his
yeah.
sleeve.
Grease his hair back.
Yeah, he's the one bad guy.
He looks
Well-
like he's from the fucking Outsiders.
Drinking moonshine.
Well, once he saw the Stillinger sisters, immediately he was yelling, call the local law enforcement officer. This dude, Henry, they called him Hank Horton. And when Horton arrived and began, when he got into the house, that's when he found the rest of the Moore family.
Dude, but just think about this. Think about, you first walking in that door and you look down, and that's the first thing you see. Dude, that fucking pit in your stomach.
Oh my god, dude, I can't imagine it.
I
Like,
mean,
all kidding
just-
aside, dude, it must have been
The
worst thing ever.
That's what I'm saying. The images or the
Especially
emotion-
because in this kind of town, he knew them. He knew those little girls. He
Yep.
knew the Morris family.
and not
He
only
was
that,
their
it's
brother.
his-
He
it's
was
his
related
brother's
to
house.
him.
Yeah,
It's his
it's
brother's house.
So if
Oh,
he's
I
seeing
thought
these
you were
little
talking
girls-
about the police officer.
No,
I'm
no,
talking
no,
about
no,
when the
Ross.
dude first seen him, bro.
Ross,
That
okay.
that sick gut feeling, man. It's gonna instantly go to, man, this is my brother's house.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if there's
You know
two
what I mean?
dead
That's gotta
bodies
be
here, where's the
Fucking
rest of them?
insane to deal with.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it would just been as equally insane, like if it was only the 2 girls that were dead.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah,
now it looks
absolutely.
like they did it and then
Yeah.
went to sleep.
yeah,
It wasn't caught a nap
and
afterwards.
especially the house being fucking dead quiet, man. Like,
Ugh.
bro, that had to be such a sick feeling.
It's a sweet pun you laid on us right there too.
Yeah,
Dead quiet.
yeah. Oh,
Well, along with the already discovered bodies, like I said, they were all bludgeoned to death, and the axe that we have already stated,
Right.
it was Josiah's
Right.
that they found in the guest rooms where the sisters were staying that night.
The Stillinger sisters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So this, it points to the whole weapon of convenience. He
yeah.
broke
I was
in
just
there
gonna
and
say the
not
weapons of
having.
convenience.
Yeah.
He broke into their house not having a weapon.
It's not like they had
Found them
fingerprint
there.
analysis and shit.
Yeah, they didn't have no DNA. They didn't have to worry about that type of shit.
No.
So
No,
I mean, why not
he
just grab?
left it there.
I mean, that way, when you're done and you bounce, you ain't walking down the fucking street with a blood-soaked axe.
Yeah. I mean, while that's a gnarly image, it's not going to help you get away with
No,
crimes.
yeah. Especially in a fucking small town like that. See,
Yeah.
man, like this is what's kind of got me going, huh? Because in a small town like that, man, fucking everybody knows everybody, bro.
Mhm.
We all go to the same stores, the same churches. Like,
Well, see,
I would think that if it was somebody from outside, do you not think this person would have been noticed?
Well, see, this town was on the rail line,
Oh,
railroad line.
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So they did have transients kind of coming and going.
Well, I mean, that's how old Henry Lee Lucas done his gig,
Well, that's why anytime you see a hobo
Traveling
carrying like one of those
like
things,
a hobo.
like with the stick and the thing, you know what's inside that
Stick with a
bag?
bandana.
It's really an axe. You got to
and a
take
can
it.
of
They're just
beans.
hiding it with the bandana, thinking it's
Yeah.
it's like beans and crackers, cans of sardines and shit.
But when the doctors were brought in to the case, to start checking in on them, they came to believe that the murders happened between midnight and 5 a.m. So that kind of gives them a.
Time
So it
frame.
means this dude, he broke into their house well before this. because they didn't go to bed at midnight. That's when he decided to come to get him, essentially.
Well, that's when they're like a deep sleep,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But
at that
they
point,
discovered that
especially
there
back
was
then.
2 spent cigarettes in the attic, so he was up there for a while.
Chilling, just waiting.
Yeah, just waiting on him.
Dude, what's fucking going through your head? While you're sitting in a fucking attic.
For hours.
Yeah, just hours on end, just waiting to commit
It like never
8 fucking murders.
apparently never crossed his mind to not fucking do it.
No,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, at any given time, you could have just said, you know what, this is fucking nuts. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then stole whatever you wanted, because that's how you know this was straight about murder, bro. Because
yeah.
Well,
you know what I mean?
the thing is too is that they had like when they showed up to the crime scene and stuff, like all the windows had like sheets over them and stuff, and anything with like a reflective like mirror or anything like that was covered. You know what I mean? So like, the dude.
I mean, there have
did
been
not
people who
want
looked into this case,
Yeah.
and was like, the person that would have done it would have been like ashamed of what they did, so they would cover all the mirrors, so they wouldn't have to look themselves in the face.
Oh yeah, but you still got to fucking live with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that kind of points to the whole, it's a serial killer. Not,
Yeah.
they're not too
Either way, you
concerned.
still got to live with it, bro. And that's, and this is running through your mind. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, I would assume 24 hours a fucking day.
For the rest of your life.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you're not going to fucking see what you did.
Right.
Be like, all of a sudden now you're like, I look in the mirror and, oh, now I'm a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
No, dude, you were
Yeah,
a
see,
psycho
but then
when
it
you were
would be-
swinging that axe.
That would kind of be like
You were a psycho when you were waiting in a fucking attic for hours.
Yeah.
like
a
Richard
fucking
Ramirez kind of thing.
Mm.
Yeah, where it's, or even like Dahmer and all them. I didn't really regret it in a way.
No, they couldn't help it. Yeah.
It was a compulsion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what this was. And at the time, back then, they didn't really understand the whole serial killer concept.
No, because like that was a big part of it, which we're about to get into actually.
Yep.
What about the whole serial killer concept?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was out there.
Well, I mean, apparently they had no shortage of potential suspects. I mean, some early theories even included a potential serial killer, which,
Yeah.
We just touched on,
Yeah.
and had committed the acts due to a number of similar murders taking place over the years of, between 1911 and ending in basically June
Yeah.
of 1912.
With
And
these
this is-
murders.
And
Yeah,
this was
with-
like
I
the one theory that a lot of like some of the detectives who are looking into this, even nowadays, we're still holding on to.
Yeah.
Because the murders, they happened in like Washington State, like Colorado, something like that.
I think Kansas, there was one.
Well, they happened everywhere, like not everywhere, but across the country, and it was the same thing. Mirrors
Well, I
were
mean-
covered, windows were covered. It was always a weapon of convenience, so he never brought in
Yeah.
his
Right.
own weapon.
Right.
I don't know the exact year, man, but don't this kind of sound like the whole axe murder of New Orleans kind of thing going on too? I mean,
I
know
think that was around this time.
that's what I'm saying. I know that was
Yeah.
around the 1920s.
It wasn't long. It wasn't long.
So did he just do his thing and move on?
Well, see, that's what they were thinking too. That's why they never could find him, and it took, especially communication wasn't that good. There was no centralized computer system.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
eventually,
by the time they were hearing about all this dude could have easily gotten on a train
bounced.
3
then-
states away, did the whole thing, because whoever was doing the serial killing was prolific. Like he was fucking
Yeah,
active.
he was fucking good at his job.
So like it was in 1917, 1918 is when the New Orleans axe murder stuff happened.
See,
So
that's
I mean,
what,
still
5 years
within-
after this.
Yeah, I
bro.
mean, it's not like
It's
it was,
right
like,
within the time
decade.
period.
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, and that
It's
guy's
like,
never fucking. That dude's never been caught either.
Yeah.
No, like the dude that they were trying to find to pin it on the serial killing. What he would do, he'd break into the house, kill the whole family, and then immediately, like that night, break into another house and try to kill a whole nother family.
Yeah.
The only thing was that like
That's it. What do they call that? The berserker mode?
Berserker. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
see, the thing was is that
Like
like
a bloodlust.
a few
Yeah.
people actually caught him breaking into the house. They never could get a positive identification on him.
Yeah.
But if you were awake and he saw that you saw him, he'd run.
Oh yeah, because that just shows you the fucking
Coward.
Yeah.
coward that
But
he truly was.
He would
Mhm.
attempt to break into several houses before the night was over.
I mean, it seemed like a lot of these houses you just walk right in. I don't know if you had to even break
I know,
in.
right? You just be like, fucking mosey on in, fucking do whatever the fuck you want and bounce, and nobody would ever fucking.
I mean,
see
it's
you.
1912. I assume a lot of houses don't even have doors.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just imagine it's like those swing doors, like in a saloon.
Like in a saloon.
You know?
They bring the animals in the living room in the fucking winter.
Yeah, maybe I'm not so good with time, but I mean, that's what I feel like is happening. I don't think he's breaking into a whole lot of these.
Well, I mean, dude, like the whole serial killer thing kind of, I don't know. I think it like evaporated pretty quick because all of a sudden now the police had, they come up with this list of suspects.
Well,
Which
what I
guess
think
is what
go
they
ahead.
need to do.
Well, you always gotta come up
You
with
know what I mean? Be like,
Yeah,
who's you have
narrow it
beef
down.
with?
yeah,
you
you
know
gotta
what I mean?
narrow it down somehow, But like I feel like that the serial killer angle was like too much work or something. You know what I mean? Because I know they did
Yeah.
work, like Villisca did work with some of the other police departments and shit, but I just don't know either.
Well,
they
it
didn't
kind of
want to do
ran.
it, or they
No,
just
the trail ran cold.
oh, is that what it
Oh,
was?
is that what it was?
Yeah, they
Well, I mean, it's pretty hard to
like
keep up.
they had the same MO from all these killings, but they couldn't find any like
Viable
hard evidence
suspect.
to attach somebody to
Just,
them.
to
Right.
one certain
So they-
person.
Once that went away, they started looking in on the people of the town.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like they say a lot of like especially these kind of murders where this was just brutal beyond
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like you
belief,
said, personal.
that it's always personal, man, when it's that bad. And I mean, see, this is what I love too, bro. Like one of the main suspects was a dude, Reverend George Kelly. And he was eventually, I mean, he was tried for the murders twice. And one ended in acquittal and the other ended in a hung jury. And he was never fully charged again, and he never served any jail time. I mean, that's fucking nuts, dude. Back then, you'd be like, oh yeah, you're here for fucking 7 to 8 fucking murders.
Mhm.
Just promise you'll show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
he
it's not even
was-
that, he showed up. He just
That's
didn't.
what I'm saying. Just like promise you showed up, even though you're
Yeah.
up for 8 brutal murders.
Well, I think he was also like a peeping Tom too.
Yep. Yeah, he already
was
had
that.
stuff on him.
Yeah, he wasn't like, like fucking Jesse Jackson. He wasn't that kind of reverend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he wasn't like that cool of a guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was a
he
pretty
ended up-
shitty dude.
Yeah, he ended up becoming like a major. A
Mhm.
lot of people in the town figured he did it because
Well, he wasn't from there. He was like a traveling reverend.
yeah, he came in for the day. He
Yeah,
was
he
a
was
guest
essentially like a drifter.
guest speaker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Kinda
He
like a
wasn't from
snake
Villisca.
oil salesman, just kind of rolling through
No,
town.
no, he was an
No,
actual
you can't.
reverend.
Yeah,
he was
a
an
real
actual reverend. But what he would do is he'd travel the country
Mhm.
and guest preach at
Yeah.
churches.
Yeah, like a special guest this week.
Yeah.
This guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This fucking Irishman. You know what I mean? Like this guy.
Well, you know what they needed to do was fucking, check the other towns this fucking dude's been in.
How? How do you do that?
Yeah, true. I mean, really, it's not like, well, yeah, I mean, it ain't like ATM
Mm.
fucking, you're tracking gas and
You can't triangulate
yeah,
fucking like horse locations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not like a cell tower around. You know
No,
what I
but
mean?
I mean, but part of the reason was that he was already convicted for sending
Mm.
like
Lewd letters and shit, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
or like phone. It might have been phone calls even.
Yeah.
And like he was caught peeping in on like girls and all that, like
Yeah.
girls, not women.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was a
Fuck.
fucking creep to begin
Yeah.
with.
and that's probably
And
why he
he
was a fucking
bounced.
traveling.
And he left
Mhm.
the
Preacher.
day after it happened. Like the first train that morning, he was gone.
Yep.
But I mean, that's a little fucking suspect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but again, that's kind of what he does. You know what I
Fucking
mean?
bodies start piling up, and all
Well,
of a
see,
sudden
the
you're like,
whole
yeah,
reason
I'm
he
out.
became the whole reason he became a suspect was that he was telling people on the train about what happened to the Morris family. And
How would he know?
yeah, exactly. How would he know if he wasn't there?
I mean, I'm sure it wasn't, when they first found out, it wasn't front page news. You know what I mean? I'm sure I had to wait
Well,
to
no,
get
this
around.
was day of. This is day
That's
of.
what I'm saying. The day of. How the
Yeah.
fuck did he know the day of?
Yeah, that's what made him a suspect, because he was talking about how that poor family was killed last night, and
Maybe he was a
it
psychic.
was like, yeah, God told him.
Maybe he was a psychic,
Yeah.
or maybe he did it. I mean, one of those two
Yeah.
things.
I mean, there's another dude too, bro. Frank F. Jones, excuse me. And he was an Iowa State senator and a successful businessman.
Now
Hey,
he right there has the biggest problem with Josiah.
yeah, they had like a pretty. He had like a successful
Hardware
like
store.
hardware store. Josiah left, started his own.
Yeah,
and
Josiah worked for him.
Yeah, and Josiah like took the contract for like John Deere.
Yep.
Like with him,
a highly
Especially back then.
lucrative-
yeah, it was a big
John
deal.
Deere's a big deal.
Contract.
John Deere's a big deal now.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
even then though, I mean, so
And
like
they had years.
crippled that guy's business, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
John
and it was
Deere,
something too, like
that could make you or break you, bro.
Yeah.
Josiah like slept with his wife or his wife's sister.
They never proved that though.
Yeah, but there was, they had some serious beef going on between the two of them.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, well, Frankie Boy might be a good,
Mm.
possible suspect for this. I mean,
Yeah,
Well,
after this,
the
he
rumor
never-
might be, but
he
9
gets-
out of 10
he
times,
ne-
shit like
he,
that, rumors are true.
As a senator, couldn't you just pardon yourself? You know what I mean?
No.
Just like
But I do think that he never actually wins election again. After
I am
this.
not charging myself with these crimes. You know what I mean? Like you're good. I'm
This
good.
is fake
out.
news.
Yeah, I'm out.
Well, no, but like I think he lost.
He lost after that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Even just
yeah,
being
like,
accused was
Just
enough.
from the accusations.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I kind of get it. You know what I mean? It's like, well, we're gonna elect a dude that's fucking,
Yeah.
suspected.
Yeah,
of
but
being
think
a
about it,
fucking
man. He's a
psycho
man of-
axe murderer.
He's
Yeah.
a man of action. Right. He wants something done, he does it.
You gotta take matters into your
he
own
gets
hands.
Yeah.
yeah,
He gets his hands dirty.
yeah.
Well, it's
We need
so we
more.
can relate closer to the working man. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Well, I mean, but dude, there's a story going around that says, he hired this dude William Mansfield,
Mm.
which supposedly
is-
hired by the senator
Yeah.
to kill the Moore family due to a business dispute, which
Yeah.
goes
Which
right
we
back
just-
The
to
John Deere
And
thing. Yeah.
Williams
the hardware
Mansfield
store.
was the one man investigators were believing was the serial killer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they
So what,
believe
he
it's-
he was being accused of like other.
of the
Of
other
the
ones.
crimes that we were
other
talking
serial
about a minute
murders.
ago.
Yeah, the other
Yeah,
ones. that
like
were
he was
similar.
the one person who they believed had done it, because he had been in a lot of the towns that the murders took place in.
Well, I mean, that
always
sounds
in the town around the time that happened. So he was like Frank Jones and Reverend Kelly were the two main ones, but they couldn't prove that Williams Mansfield did it. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there wasn't like a text trail or a fucking email. You know what I
No.
mean?
No.
I mean, it was
actually,
probably
you gotta give him credit for
cash
even
transaction.
attaching, for even being able to connect all these murders.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
for
how
the
they
time
caught
period.
Bundy, dude. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they proved he was here. They proved he was here. They proved he was here. You know what I mean? I mean, eventually you think, this, especially back then, bro, did they really need proof of guilt? I mean, they fucking said you did
I mean,
it.
it'd be nice.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, see,
man? I
But
mean,
the
it'd be
thing
nice.
is that like you got a reverend, so you have a supposed man of God.
Mhm.
A senator.
You have another,
Yeah,
a
a
senator
senator.
who's well respected in the community,
And a potential
tri-
serial killer.
and a potential serial killer, but you can't prove
The connection.
the connection to him.
And they all walk into a bar.
Yep.
So a senator, a reverend, and a serial killer. You know, it's like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, a reverend, a senator, and a serial killer walk into a bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like,
See, that's the problem. 2 out of the 3 of them, especially in the time period, you wouldn't think a reverend would be capable of that. You wouldn't think a senator
Right.
would do something like that.
well, I mean, this
Mhm.
reverend had to be pretty fucking dirty. I mean,
He was
no,
a dirty
bro,
fucker.
I mean, he had to be
Yeah,
filthy,
he
bro.
was.
I mean, for them to even
Yeah.
like know about he did shit like he did.
Yeah. He was a dirty
How
motherfucker.
big of a
because
scumbag are you?
because the stories of him, like I said, telling people about the murders,
Mhm.
Yeah.
with that almost instantly got back to Villisca.
I mean, even back then, bro, you had to be a fucking major scumbag
Mm-hmm.
for people to hear about you other places in 1912.
Yeah.
I mean, what they do, telegraph it. I mean, fucking Pony Express letters. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, what the fuck, bro? You know what I mean? You had to be a fucking class A scumbag.
Like smoke signals or something.
Yeah.
That's Pony Express, man.
Yeah. But there's another dude, man, that was kind of.
I think it was Doc Brown. He wrote a letter about it and then dated it for the exact day for June 10th,
Yeah.
1912.
They just didn't listen to him.
And had Wells Fargo deliver the letter.
Yeah.
Well, they had a bet if somebody was actually going to be there or not.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's another dude too, man, Lee Van Gilder, which was Sarah's former brother-in-law. It was previously married to Mary, Sarah's sister.
Okay.
And you know, and like this dude, you know, he was a fucking scumbag, dude. He,
Yeah.
You know, he was a domestic abuse. You know, I mean, he was a violent man and had many run-ins with the law over the years.
Right.
But I mean, you know, sometime later, you know, Van Gilder was cleared of any suspicion. It was also
Yeah, well, he
never,
had,
it was
like,
never brought to trial.
Yeah.
Yeah. They suspected him of it, but he had like a rock hard alibi. Rock solid, sorry. But still, he did have.
Sure, it'd be nice if you didn't have a huge boner while I'm asking about your family's your former family-in-law's murders.
Yeah.
But he had like a solid alibi with multiple witnesses stating he wasn't there. I'm just gonna continue on like I didn't say anything.
Just,
I think that's
gotta gloss right over
best.
that.
I think that's best for everyone.
Yeah. You know, man, honestly, if I didn't see Tim start to lean back and laugh, I would have rolled right on with that. I would not have noticed. I said what I said.
I could do it. Hit me like a ton of bricks. What are you talking about? Hey, I was
just going. I was just going, and then I just started seeing you lean back like real slow.
Like I couldn't believe my fucking ears.
Like,
Yo, that deputy must have been like, yo, sheriff, this fucking dude's got a boner, man.
Yeah, dude.
yeah, like he's into this.
We
Right
might want to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, basically it goes back, you know, like what comes, I guess it all comes full circle,
Right.
you know, because it basically went back to the prime suspect, the Reverend George Kelly.
Right.
And again, man, he was tried twice for the murders, bro, and never ended in a conviction, even though on the 31st of August in 1917, he gave a confession to the authorities admitting that he had in fact committed the murders at the Moore residence and was ordered by God to, quote, suffer the children to come unto me, you know,
Unquote.
Yeah, I mean,
unquote. But I mean,
but this too was like he gave a confession and then redacted it later.
Yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, you know,
I'm like at that point,
I mean, not only that, dude. So not only did you confess to it, but you have like an elaborate reason, and then you're like, no, never mind.
yeah, it's like he started he was gonna like let everything go. He was like, wait a minute,
Well, I
I might
mean,
go
like,
to jail
maybe-
for the rest of my life.
maybe for that, you know, for that split fucking second.
He was gonna go to jail for the rest of his life.
like,
Yeah.
you know, guilt fucking hit him. You know what I mean? And all of a
Yeah.
sudden he's like, whoa.
Well,
They
see, that
fucking
happens
did
to a lot of people.
this.
Yeah.
Like that's the story that happens to like a lot of serial killers too. They get that moment of weakness where they let somebody in, like let somebody know what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that gets them caught.
Right.
You know, a good example of that, man, is, you know, the co-ed killer, Ed Kemper.
Yeah.
He basically turned himself in after he killed his mother, man, because basically he was like, they're never gonna fucking catch me. And if I don't get caught, I'm just gonna keep on fucking killing.
Yeah.
So he kind of like, I don't know if it was remorse or what it was, or maybe all the
Boredom.
women he killed represented his mom. You know what I mean? And he killed her, so he's like, well, fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah.
But like, it seems like, you know, you're right. They kind of had this one moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have like a moment of clarity, then try to do something, and then like
Now, see,
the psycho comes back.
I wonder how much of that of him being a reverend came into play with that. You know what I mean? Like trying to square that up.
oh yeah, trying to square
Or
up
even
with God.
like
Mm-hmm.
if
butchering
even saying God
entire
told
family
me
with
to
an
do
axe.
it. He could have even been like, well, I'll say God told me to do it. And then everyone they'll go lighter on me until you realize that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
he's like, yo, I didn't do it.
Yeah, no, I'm just fucking.
Because y'all motherfuckers is gonna put me in prison for the rest of my life or hang me for it.
I mean, I think something like this, if you are convicted, you should be murdered, probably.
For sure.
If you're
Oh, yeah.
guilty, of course.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, you know, I
Even if
believe
you're
that
innocent.
too, bro. Like, you know,
Take them out.
fucking take them all out.
There's too many people.
Yeah. We
If
gotta
you
start
kill one
thinking.
person, they can't take that kind of hit to the population.
Yeah.
There's
You gotta start slaughtering entire bloodlines.
already so little of them.
But I mean, you know, dude, what is it with these fucking, you know, these reverends? You're like, why are they all like fucking diddling children? I don't get
It's
it.
not all of them. It's is it Catholics, right? That keep getting caught.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to do with their like the way the priests are set up.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this.
The
Any
oaths they
religion
have to
tells you
take.
to swear off sex, just perpetuates that.
All right,
Mm.
a
I mean,
huge
but, you
distraction
know,
in my life.
But you know, I mean, unfortunately, man, see, this is the fucking crazy part because you know, nobody's ever been arrested or sentenced for these murders. And it, like today, you know, 100 and what, 10 years later, it's still a cold
unsolved.
case.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll never be
So
solved.
basically,
No.
this is like a, you know, a
It's too
Jack the
late now, dude.
Ripper,
Like any
a Black Dahlia, you know what I mean? Like,
any real
Yeah.
evidence has either been degraded over time or lost or mishandled. I mean, there's no fucking way they'll ever find out.
yeah, man, at this point,
Ever.
it's like it's a cold
It's
case.
all
It'll
theory.
go down in history
Yeah.
as a cold case.
Yeah, you'll have somebody coming up trying to act like they know who did it. But
Well, yeah, you always got them, what, like them, not them think tanks, but you know, like those ex-cops, you know, with where their buddies with criminologists,
like
they all
the,
get
yeah.
together.
the
Yeah.
true crime authors who think they've solved it, that kind of thing.
All right. I mean, now it's more of this like hobby kind of shit. You know what I mean? Because there is like,
Yeah.
I know there's like a retired Villisca detective or something like that. That this is like his thing after retirement to fuck with. You know what I mean? Where he's
Well,
trying to get to the bottom of it. I'm like, what fucking new evidence could there possibly be?
Yeah,
There isn't
112
any.
110 years later, man. I mean,
There's
I
none.
think you've learned
There's none
everything
left.
there is to
well, I
learn.
mean, dude,
Yeah, there's
I
none
mean,
left.
this house is actually open
Right.
to the public. Like you could rent the night out.
Yeah. You can do that with
has
Lizzie
its own
Borden's house
website.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it sure
But
does.
you know-
Honestly, man, that'd be actually kind of cool.
Well, see,
Hmm.
like we've already
I'd
said,
go.
over 100 years later,
You
this house
believe
is
it?
still up and standing, and the guy who owns it now spent years restoring it back to period accurate.
Yep.
So he removed all modern amenities out of it.
Right. Yeah.
He put up like the proper wallpaper. He went out and
Hmm.
bought time period specific.
Yeah.
Like
Everything.
furniture and all that.
Yeah.
So he made
Man.
it like a nice house looking like run down and like
Yeah.
poorly built.
Yeah.
It's like, come spend a lot of money and you still got a shit in our house.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
no,
no,
yeah,
he
we
did.
don't
He
have
took
no
the
running
bathrooms
water.
out. There's
We
an
don't have
actual
no running
outhouse.
water.
Sorry, dude. Like that's. I mean, I got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah.
There's like,
You know
he
what I mean?
has the one thing he has in there that's modern is he has an AC in the second floor.
Oh, okay.
Like a
Was that like
window
a
Don't
unit.
even
unit?
bother. So we got air. We got central air, but we don't got fucking running toilets.
Yeah. Well, the only reason he said he put because it's not even connected to the power lines.
The house.
Yeah. He has the AC unit connected to by an extension cord.
Oh my
Gotta be
god.
a
Goes
pretty
into the
long
next house
fucking
over.
extension cord.
That is the most white trash
Because-
thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well, the reason he
That's like
said
some
he
trailer
did
park
that is
shit.
because
Jesus.
no, the reason he said he did it was he's like in the summertime.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
I'm sure
can't
it gets
go up
hot.
there. It's so fucking hot. You can't go up there. And he needs
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he's
guess if you
doing
have like
this
people
for
staying over the
tours and-
night.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I
that's
get
the
it.
only reason why that's up there is just to kind of take the edge off the heat in the summer.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to take the edge off what happened to that place. I can
Yeah,
tell you
no,
that.
No.
yeah, it's definitely.
No. But they, but the house has actually become like a hot spot for paranormal activity, surprisingly enough.
Even though it's got AC.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't usually happen. Yeah.
Like, what happens when those like paranormal investigators are up there? They're like, it's a cold spot. It's like, well, yeah.
You don't hear the AC running,
Yeah.
dumbass.
Yo, unplug the extension cord.
It's 1,500 BTUs, motherfucker. Like,
Yeah, this is the Beefkeeper 4000 you got
Yeah.
up here, man. Like,
beefkeeper. I think that goes hand in hand with your rock hard theory. That's what I call my butt. The beef freezer.
the Beefkeeper.
Yeah, the beefkeeper.
The beef- Oh, the beefkeeper. Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Oh my god. Do you have like a beefkeeper like outfit? Like
Yeah.
that's fucking dope, dude.
It's like a pair of
Assless chaps.
assless chaps.
That's a hot way to live. Oh my god.
Dude.
Oh my god.
Now, some of the stories that come out of this house from the people who resided in it over the years, obviously following the murder,
Right.
has reported seeing like shadow figures standing at the foot of their bed holding an axe.
That's fucking scary, dude.
Yeah.
That's super scary.
Did they wake up to that?
Yeah. I mean, that's
I
really
don't know. I don't know. I kind of find that a little suspect. I mean, wouldn't you expect to hear something like that?
Yeah.
Dude, okay, so like if it was fake
I mean,
or
especially if
something,
you're
or like
like,
staged, how the fuck do you stage a shadow person at the end of your fucking bed?
Well, see, here's the
In the
thing, too,
night.
is that this isn't the
At
only
night.
kind of story
that's a
that
good
has
point.
like the killer was in the house, like shadow person. You know what I
Mhm,
mean? Like ghost,
mhm.
even though the killer didn't die there. It was like such a traumatic event.
He was like sentenced to be
that it
there
was like
forever.
imprinted.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And other people have reported seeing shoes filled with blood. Now, this goes back to during the killings. Apparently, a shoe got filled up with just filled with blood and was knocked over by whoever was killing the family.
Mm,
So at
okay.
least that has a sense of why. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, that seems super random.
Yeah, like
that a
when I
shoe would
saw
fill
the
up
what?
with blood.
Well, just that there'd be like a ghost of a shoe filled with blood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, there's even been the closet doors have been known to open and shut on them by themselves.
Yeah.
So there's
I've
a
heard
lot of
this.
things going on.
Yeah. I saw that on a paranormal show about that place where like you can hear like they like hear like a hand hitting the door and you
Yeah,
see the
yeah.
fucking door slam shut. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fucking creepy. And you know for sure there's nobody in there. You're like, oh, okay, man.
Yeah.
That's super fucking weird.
Well, no one that's always been disturbing. I don't care if you hear it in a movie or in person, but they've heard sounds of children throughout the house.
See, like that,
You
it's
ever hear-
scary and heartbreaking simultaneously, man.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's creepy, but like you said, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Especially knowing the background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
knowing this. Yeah, knowing the backstory.
Yeah. That's fucking sad, dude. Like, all no kidding about it, dude. That's
Yeah.
fucking sad. That's just.
I mean, I
straight
will
up
tell
sad.
you, dude, if I'm in a house and I hear fucking kids running around like creepy fucking kid noises, and I know I'm there by myself. Yeah, I don't know how I would fucking deal with that.
Well, I feel like you can't tell them I don't believe in you, and then they're gonna leave.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't believe in ghosts.
Oh, sorry. We'll go.
So,
haunt
yeah, they're like,
your
oh, our
neighbor.
bad.
oh, we didn't know you were a skeptic, man. You should
Yeah,
have
we'll
said that.
bounce. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? My bad. Don't worry about us
We're-
getting fucking.
I mean,
beat
we
in the
might
head
be
with an
dead,
axe.
but we're reasonable.
Look,
All right,
we
well-
don't want to push, our beliefs
Our
on you.
belief-
You know what I mean? Like, we're not that kind of ghost. You
Yeah,
know
we're
what I
not
mean?
that
Like,
guy. Yeah, we're an all-inclusive ghost.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're not like the ghosts of like Jehovah's Witnesses. You know what I mean? We're not
Yeah,
gonna try
no,
to push it
we're-
on you.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there's even been an occurrence with a man who used to live in the house, and he was sharpening his knife.
Mhm.
Then all of a sudden, the knife pretty much did a 180 in his hand
Right.
and sliced his thumb open.
Mm.
Now he said it was as if someone had taken a hold of the handle and caused the knife to come at him.
Damn, man.
I tend to think maybe he might have been a little fucking tipsy and he was sharpening his fucking knife, coming back and forth, on the sharpening stone. I mean, I don't know, man.
Well, no, it was like
I mean, like I get what you're saying. How the knife
and
Yeah.
the whole
supposedly
thing,
flipped.
the blade spun in his
Yeah.
hand and sliced his hand open.
But why would it like, I mean, you're gonna tell me that dead ghost is gonna be like, I'm just gonna cut your thumb.
Well, I think it's just what he hit because
think
it was
he
like
got
coming
the
at him.
feeling. Yeah, I think he got the feeling it was trying to do more than just cut his thumb. It's just what happened.
That's just where it hit.
It's all it got.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of how he was trying to explain it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how he was trying to explain it. Essentially, like he thumb blocked it.
1, 2, 3 thumb wars. It's like fucking
Hard to win if you don't have a thumb, buddy.
Like that Bruce Lee 2-finger push-up shit.
Yeah.
But dude, there's even a story about one night when a family who was living there.
What? Like, how do you tell somebody good job if you don't have a thumb? Like, without like,
yeah.
like, I don't get it.
But no, he got 2 thumbs. You use the other thumb.
Good job, man.
Yeah.
There's no fucking thumb there.
Why are you raising your fist at me, bro?
Oh, just do want to scrap. Okay.
But there's a story of a family that was living in the house, and apparently now this story reminded me a lot of the Pavelia Island, where they moved in, they ran out of the house screaming in terror and moved out the same day and never came back.
That's very Amityville.
Yeah,
It is.
Well, see, remember that story from Pavelia Island where the family bought it and moved
Oh,
there?
that's right. I forgot
And
about
then
that.
left that same-
I forgot about that
very
story.
next day.
Yeah, I forgot about that story on there.
I'll tell you what, dude, if you buy a fucking house like Bavaria and you buy an island and you bounce the fuck out the next day,
Yeah. I mean,
something terrifying happened.
why are you buying a house on an island where like hundreds of thousands of people burned with the most deadly plague known to fucking mankind?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Just like, why would you,
Ain't
buy
an
a
insane
house
asylum.
where an entire family was
They're just
slaughtered?
reliving their goth years, man.
It doesn't
The
make any
teenage goth
fucking
years,
sense.
you know?
Yeah,
Like,
I
yo,
can see-
you want to
okay.
know how hardcore
Yeah,
I
like,
am?
I can see
live
like
on the bubonic plague island, motherfucker.
yeah, I can see like Marilyn Manson buying that out, that island, but not like a regular fucking like Italian family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I get it.
Dude, they're like,
You
no
know?
wonder why we got
Well,
the fucking island
It's
so
yeah,
cheap.
remember that, dude? Like, but they were a rich family.
Yeah.
And
you were gonna be
considering
able to
for an
buy
island, they got it pretty fucking cheap.
Yeah, it was cheap. The state wanted it off their books.
Yeah, they're like, here, it's your problem now.
Dude, I feel like the three of us can pool our money together and buy that island right now. Like, nobody wants to fucking live on that island. Like, they're like, no.
But even like this house has had some even like paranormal investigators, such as like the Travel Channel's Ghost Adventures,
Which is a guilty
Yes.
pleasure of mine. I will admit.
and they've actually captured EVP, and it stated, "I killed 6 kids."
Well, first off, that should be a guilty pleasure because that dude is fucking ridiculous.
He gets more ridiculous. This is why I like him.
Dude, I've
gets
seen the
worse.
episode you're talking about, and I ain't lying, man. Every time he says, I'm like, please let that axe fall. Please let that axe fall. Like,
Because of his fucking stupid haircut.
yeah. It's like, yo, you with your fucking douchebag fucking Ed Hardy shirt.
I mean, like, there was some shit in like that episode, though, man. Like I said, was pretty fucking creepy. You know what I mean? Like, it was
Yeah, I
pretty
mean,
nuts.
I've
Like,
seen some episodes do where I was like, "Whoa."
well, like we were telling that
Yeah.
story about the guy with the knife and the thumb and all that.
Yeah.
They brought in that episode. They brought in 2 girls that used to live there, and it was their
Okay.
dad that happened to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you could see in those women's eyes, man, like they were fucking visibly scared to be in that
Yeah,
house.
they wanted nothing to do with it.
They did not want to go in that
I've seen
fucking
that
house.
episode, man. And you're right. You could tell they were visibly
Uncomfortable.
uncomfortable in that house.
They did not want to be in there,
The
man.
one more than the other. But
Like, even the one that was kind of brave, like had to sit down for a second because it
Yeah.
was just like beating her, you know what I mean? Like with, I don't know, ghost energy.
Memories of it, I
or
guess.
whatever, I guess. Yeah. I mean, but the other one, you was like fucking trembling and shit. You know what I mean?
yeah, she couldn't be there.
Yeah. she'd go outside and smoke cigarettes, and she never smoked a day in her life. You know what I mean? It was intense.
It's like, this is how bad this place fucked me up.
But the accounts continue to this day.
Well, yeah, but
A lot of people still
Yeah.
come and they claim a lot of the same things.
Right.
So it's not like a ghost came up to talk to him.
Yeah.
Really the only time I ever saw anything was the shadow figure.
Which I
It's not like
think
they're
is
coming
almost
up with new-
scarier than a ghost. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
seeing like an apparition. I feel like that's almost scarier. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because a
'cause-
lot of times we like hear like a story about like, oh, I saw this ghost. Like there was like detail, like it looked like you
Yeah.
could relate to it. You know what I mean? But not like a fucking shadowy
yeah, almost human.
silhouette of a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh my fucking god. That's
Where it's
Yeah,
like it's
super
vague, but
scary.
it's a person.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, plus
Where it's darker than the
shadow
night,
people
you know what
aren't
I mean?
exactly known to be there to be friendly.
That's true.
Where ghosts, there's a good chance they don't even know you're there.
I mean, you gotta
Right.
remember,
Yeah,
people
know you're
our,
there.
see our shadow people episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. We go
They
into that
know
in
you're
detail.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the difference.
And that's the
They're
thing, like,
intelligent in a certain sense.
I mean, they did, supposedly they did get an EVP saying I killed 6 kids,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but like a lot
They
of
were
times
in
I
there
think-
when that happened. They were in there with the cop, the retired cop, who doesn't believe in that shit anyway. They were in there with him when they caught that.
But see, that's what I'm saying, man. With the EVP thing, sometimes I think you hear what you want to hear.
Yeah. Oh, I think a
Sometimes-
lot of it is that.
Sometimes I think it's a little indecipherable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I
there
mean,
are some times where it's pretty fucking clear. There are some times where it kind of gives you a chill. You know what I mean? You're like, oh god, like
Yeah.
it's fucking scary, man. I couldn't imagine like hearing that with my own ears. But like the folks that like are going to this like to Villisca and like staying the night, like you're
Mhm.
there hoping to have,
some kind of
paranormal
experience.
Something.
you know what I mean? Like you want to have it. You're there for it. You know what I
See,
mean?
that's my thing,
Which,
man.
I mean, even
You
on that
leave
end,
disappointed if nothing happens. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
well, see, even
Be
on that
fucking
end, though,
devastated.
Yeah.
is that when you want that to happen, a lot of people say that's the people who usually end up getting something because they open themselves up.
Yeah.
They're more willing.
If you're wanting to,
To
if you
feel
want
it.
it to happen.
Yeah, they're more
Yeah.
willing to feel the energy, to see the apparition,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing.
I
I
think.
mean, I don't know, because I remember one time me and my wife were trying to make plans to go and spend the weekend up in Fall River.
What is
at
that?
the Lizzie Borden house.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
Listen, just say you're afraid to do it. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. This
You
is
can
a
be
safe
open
place.
and honest. And
it came down to money. But I mean, like, do the ghosts do their thing every night,
if it's a
or
residual,
is it just when people are there?
if it's residual, I think it's like
Does it like
Every day.
continuously like this
yeah, it's like a
never
loop.
ending loop?
Yeah, it's like a loop.
Yeah, sometimes it's like one day of the year, which will be like when they were killed or they died or whatever happened.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the
and
anniversary of it or
sometimes-
whatever.
Yeah. Then sometimes it's just a loop. It's every single day that apparition walks down this hallway.
Every
this
single
time.
day.
That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have
So I
like
guess
more
if it's one of
intelligent
those-
ones.
If it's intelligent, it can come and go as it pleases. It'll
Yeah,
show itself when it wants.
as it. Yeah, exactly, when it feels like it.
When it wants to.
So it can manifest.
At
So like,
will.
even if you're there investigating, and it's
It
like,
doesn't
nah,
have
fuck
to
these
show
guys,
itself.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
can-
not going to show itself.
yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't have to.
to show itself if it doesn't want to.
Yeah, it's conscious essentially. You know what I mean?
To a
It's
certain
like, it's like
extent.
sentient. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It does have like a mind of its own, essentially. You know what I mean? Like it's still the person. You know what I mean? It's just they're not in like a meat suit anymore.
Yeah,
They're not in a beef keeper.
Usually they're like super angry. Yeah, they're not particularly
That is your new
just,
fucking name
like,
for the
process
rest of time. That is your
Yeah,
new
just
name.
process what
It
you
took him a
said.
second. It took him
You
a
did
second
that.
to realize.
I just
what
want you to
said.
know for the rest of my life, I will call you Beefkeeper for the rest of my life as often as I can and as many public places as possible.
Like,
Yo,
how's it going, everybody? Back with another episode of Gameray Podcast.
Yeah.
My name's Tim, here with Tim and Beefkeeper,
Yeah.
And rock hard beefkeeper.
the rock hard Beefkeeper.
Oh my god, dude. Fantastic. That's how you know the show's not really scripted. Because
Yeah.
Unless you're like, I scripted that out and you're like Ron Burgundy, you're just like, you're gonna read whatever's there no matter what. Like, that's the only way that happens. All right, everybody. Well, that's Villisca, man, and that's some serious shit happened at this place, dude.
Yeah, it was fucking terrible, man.
Yeah.
Especially for the children.
Dude,
You know,
I
like you
don't
said, as parents,
yeah,
dude, that's fucking heartbreaking.
yeah. Like, I mean, I'm hiding a little bit of the hurt I have for those kids in the show right now. You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah,
deep down, man, it's soul crushing
it is.
to think about. You know what I mean? You're just like, holy hell. I don't know how a person does it, man.
No,
I don't get it.
not the children.
No. No.
I mean,
I like
you
the
know.
caveat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not the
You know,
kids.
Well, I wouldn't
Fucking
give a fuck
parents,
about
man.
the,
Parents
about
live
the
their lives,
adults.
bro. You know what I mean? Parents at that point, they pretty much lived a good chunk of their lives.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, their hopes and dreams were gone when they started having kids.
Yeah.
Well, like, you got to
They're-
be very
you know,
careful
they're-
when you have those caveats, you know, because like Jewish boys are men at like 13. You know what I mean? So you got to be very careful.
Yeah.
You know, pick and choose. 18 and over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Acceptable.
Yeah. I don't mind you fucking slaughtering people 18 and over, but man.
If
leave
they're
them kids
17
alone.
and 3/4,
Yeah.
You leave them alone.
you piece of
You
shit.
just skated on by, bro.
You piece of shit.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us. And as always, you know, we love you very much. Thanks for joining us again. And we'll see you next week.
See y'all later.
Everybody have a good one. Thanks for joining us.